Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new concert film, Imbolc. And this is a Gaelic concert film. It's the Celtic pagan festival of Brigid. And during COVID, they put on this concert in a small setting and were able to record this by having a particular narrator and host who actually at one point joins in on some of the performance, especially towards the beginning, but she's able to introduce the acts and then has sit-down interviews with them as well. And there's some telling interviews that give perspective on music and dealing with the pandemic and bring some interesting ideas in terms of trying to connect these artists with their music and with their audiences. And in general, this puts on a pretty straightforward kind of concert film. It isn't something like this. It feels like a TV special because it really is. But it doesn't feel like The Last Waltz or something like that, which I feel like kind of transcends the concert film. But like, it's an intimate and enjoyable concert film. You have Emma Langford, whose song Birdsong really stuck out to me in this film, and I really look forward to seeking out more of her music. She was a great choice to start this off because you kind of start with a bang. And then you deal with a whole cast of different acts I'm going to run through a bit. You have Matrona, who is a pair of two young women who are dressed up in like very 70s kind of outfits. 60s, 70s, you might see these kinds of outfits on the artists, musicians in cream and stuff like that. And they have a very classic rock vibe, and very much this concert is pretty unplugged. It's in a small room and a small space, and they do some great acoustic guitar work. You have Ciara Meade, who honestly kind of had like a dancing kind of disco vibe to it, which was a bit of a shake-up from the first two acts. And maybe, like at this point, because this is like a 43-minute film, maybe get up and move a little bit. You have Cody, who I think was one of the more interesting. She's a young woman of color who brings an R&B perspective, and this was a very interesting performance because she even talks about stripping away everything and doing this little kind of intimate affair. And I feel like she kind of brought some balance and she shook things up a little bit in terms of the musical taste, because a lot of this feels like folk music, and hers really had that R&B kind of feel to it. You have Lambe, who's very Gaelic kind of music, and she sings a lot of her songs in Gaelic. A lot of the song titles are Gaelic, and that's kind of like what I kind of expected out of this, and I love it. I love Gaelic music and Celtic music, and that really grabbed my attention. It was something that spoke a little bit closer to me. You have Ciara, who does very much like straight up folk music, and she was a lot more low-key. She had a nice low-key interview, and then they wrap it up with Wyvern Lango, which is a group of folk singers, and they have some great vocalizations playing off of each other, and it felt nice having a bit of a bigger sound to kind of like hammer things home. But in general, this is a pretty straightforward, directed, probably made for TV concert film. It was a nice special. I really love the music. I'm definitely going to be checking out all these artists later because I love the music. And it was just a feel-good kind of thing after I like marathoned a bunch of movies with my fiance for our date night. And we had like 40 minutes or so, and this was 40 minutes or so, and it was a nice kind of palate cleanser. And if you love some good Irish folk music and a little bit of variety as well, this is a nice little film to check out on VOD. But those are my thoughts on Imbolc. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.